So Halloween is just around the corner. So I hope everyone's going to be partying and drinking safely and responsibly. I have quite a story to tell you guys, and I just want to warn you guys ahead of time. So this video is going to end in tragedy. Well, not for me. The tragedy has already happened all the way back in 2000. So if you're living in the West, or if you grew up in the West, you probably see popular shows like Cheers, like Seinfeld, like Friends, like How I Met Your Mother, right? You've seen all these popular shows in the West. So if you're wondering what are some of the most popular TV series that's been circulating around in China, well, I haven't really been watching Chinese drama lately, but when I was growing up, there was this brand new series that was released in 1998, and it got the whole nation buzzing. So this series is called, came out in 1998, and the first series is 24 episodes. It's called 还珠格格. So 还珠格格, the first season, 1998, 24 episodes, and the fever just swept across the country. So the literal translation, it's called Return of the Pearl Princess. Yeah, so 格格, that's the word for princess. That's what they used back in the ancient China. Or sometimes the series can be translated to My Fair Princess. And this is a massive deal, and you have to remember the TV series in China, it's not like what they do in the West, where they release only one episode a week. Then perhaps every single season, like Friends, will have 24, 25 episodes, then they take a long break, and they come back for season 2, then season 3, then season 4, right? So typically on average, 24 episodes is quite short. I would say most Chinese dramas nowadays, they probably average around 40 episodes, and they will shoot everything really fast. They'll edit everything, and typically what happens is, let's say, probably I would say between Monday to Friday, they would release 2 brand new episodes every single day. So the series goes really fast. So every single week they will release probably around 10 episodes on average. So in less than a month, a brand new series will be finished. And if the series goes well, usually they will get the cast back together for possibly a sequel that's possibly longer, 50 or even 60 episodes. I know some Chinese dramas, they even go up to 70 or 80 episodes. But yeah, they don't really have this thing in the West where TV series will run for 10 years. They put the cast together very fast. They film the series very fast. They edit very fast, and they release it very fast. So yeah, the Chinese film industry is crazy. The amount of films and series they can pop out, it's absolutely unbelievable. And season 1, right, 还珠格格 was just extremely popular. So this is basically a love romance drama, you know, about how some country girl, how she got mixed in with a real princess, and she was brought into the royal palace by accident, and she falls in love with the prince from the royal palace, and they go through all kinds of love struggles. So yeah, a lot of love, romance, fantasy, kung fu fighting. Since the show was so popular in 1998, they brought the cast together and they released a sequel in 1999. The season 2 lasted for 48 episodes, and this actually became, yes, the most viewed Chinese drama of all time. It was on every single station, every single night. I would say from 99 even into 2000 to 2001, they kept playing and playing. And yes, they did have another sequel, but the third one wasn't so good. It was 40 episodes. Most of the cast have already left. They went their own ways after the second sequel. So the 还珠格格 3 wasn't really much of a success. And they did make a bunch of remakes. They even added a white guy later on. And the white guy will fall in love with a Chinese princess. But it's all crazy, crazy woke BS in my opinion. It's political correctness. They were trying to push the agenda. Just want you guys to know how big the series was. Here are some of the main casts. I'm not going to go through the male cast. Obviously, they're all very famous, very rich, very successful. But look at the female cast, because, you know, I'm sure that's what you guys are interested in, right? Vast majority of my audience are male. So the main character, obviously, since it's called 还珠格格, who is Miss 还珠格格 herself, that is played by Zhao Wei. I'm sure every single person that lives in the West, if you have watched any form of Chinese movie or Chinese drama, you would know exactly who Zhao Wei is. So she played Xiao Yanzi, or Little Sparrow. And by the way, yes, she is a billionaire. Although yes, she did get caught up in some controversies with China, but nevertheless, she even has her own vineyard in Bordeaux in France. So yeah, that's how successful this series was. And remember, in 1998, so they were casted all the way back in 97. These people, they were only 18 or 19-year-old at the time. And yeah, their fame just completely blew up overnight. And then obviously you have the Taiwanese actress, Lin Ru, or her English name is Ruby Lin. So she played Ziwei, and she's actually the real princess. I believe that she's still performing. She's in her 40s now, but I think she's still releasing singles. And as of today, you can check out some of her songs. She's still extremely popular. And of course, you have her servant, who is Fan Bingbing. So Fan Bingbing, I would say you can argue that she's the most successful Chinese actress of all time. I don't think anybody can actually top her. Unfortunately, all successful women, they all die alone, single and childless. They become cat parents. So she's 43 now. She's no longer fertile. But yeah, she played Jin Zuo. Jin Zuo actually means gold lock. And even some of the other backup actors and actresses, some of the people who are not so big, there's the actress who played Qin. So after 还珠格格 2, she never did much acting because obviously the show blew up so much. So she actually ended up marrying a Chinese billionaire after 还珠格格 2, and she obviously didn't have to do anything after that. See, women are born with value. If you're born with attractive facial features, you will have crazy, insanely rich and successful man that's lined up to chase after you, right? That's how life is. Women value a man's success. Woman values a man's social and economic status, and a man values a woman's youth, purity, and beauty. That's just how life is. But here comes the plot twist. There's another actress. Her name is Liu Dan. It's very interesting. She actually played a Muslim Uyghur princess in the 还珠格格 2. So she was brought over to the Qing dynasty's capital in order to be married to the Chinese emperor, because this is a force of arranged marriage in order to achieve a peace between obviously the Xinjiang autonomous region and also Qing dynasty China. So basically she was a sacrificial lamb. Her name was in the series was Han Xiang, and after she got married and became a consort, and then she took on the consort name of Xiangfei. Xiangfei actually means the fragrant consort. Here's where things get a little bit daunting, right? So the series was literally just released in 1999, and January 30th, 2000. So she was only 27 at the time, and unfortunately, Xiangfei, the fragrant consort, she tragically passed away from a car accident. And there are multiple scenarios, because even up until today, okay, there are still many question marks as to how this happened. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that during the series, and obviously she was set up by her Muslim father as an arranged marriage, and she already had someone from her childhood that she was absolutely crazy in love with, and they wanted to be with each other for the rest of their lives. So they made a crazy escape plan to escape the royal palace. And right before the escape plan could happen, she actually died temporarily during the series before she was being revived by butterflies. Well, yes, I did mention there's some form of fantasy to this series that's involved. There's a lot of crazy romance, crazy love story, crazy drama. So she was temporarily dead and she was revived. So she passed away in car accident on January 30th at the age of just 27. Here's a few things, right? So there was reported at the time there were only 2 people in this vehicle, and they were actually on the way to a 还珠格格 concert. So the driver of the vehicle, his name is Tiu Kim. So Tiu Kim, he actually played Xiao Yanzi, which is Zhao Wei, the main actress of the series. So this guy, he played Xiao Yanzi's brother in the series. So they were on their way to a 还珠格格 cast concert, because the series has just been released and it became the most viewed Chinese drama of all time after a couple months. So obviously everybody was very hyped, and they realized that they were all going to have fame, success, money, and riches, everything they could ever dreamed for the rest of their lives. So they were going to have this huge party right before Chinese New Year's. So somehow this guy, Tiu Kim, he escaped with only minor injuries. And I did mention there are 3 scenarios. Scenario A, many people brought this up. They're saying that basically she was not wearing a seatbelt and she was sitting in the passenger seat. And when the car got into an accident and the driver had to brake so hard, she was thrown right out of the side window, and she rolled into a ditch and died instantly. And the second scenario, they were saying that basically she was actually nearly passed out because they were so excited about the success of the new series. So she had already been drinking heavily before they were going to the concert. So she was actually passed out and falling asleep in the back seat. And obviously when you're falling asleep in the back seat, she was not wearing a seatbelt. So when the car, whether he had to brake really hard to swerve around traffic, they're saying that she was possibly ejected from the back window, or maybe she just banged her head so hard against the front seat that it caused head trauma, and she died inside of the car. Or some fans are even saying that back in 2000, they're saying that, is it possible that she was set up? Who knows, right? Because imagine, right, that this series was so popular, and when you basically become internet sensations overnight, and when you become multimillionaires from absolutely nothing, because before this series, this person, Liu Dan, she was relatively unknown, and I'm not sure if she was Muslim. It's possible. I know that she's definitely not Uyghur. She doesn't look like a Uyghur, but there are also Chinese people. They're part of the ethnic group. They're called the Huizu, the Hui ethnic group. Right? Look, 100% ethnic Chinese, but they actually practice Islam, so they're part of the Muslim group. So some people are saying that perhaps was she taken out because she's a Muslim, or perhaps she was taken out by jealous rivals, because I'm sure probably hundreds of people actually auditioned for her part, and the fact that she got a part and the series became the most successful Chinese drama of all time, perhaps a lot of people were extremely jealous. And if you read the title of this video, if you're thinking, right, I did mention the Princess Diana. Even after all of these years, it's been 27, closing on 28 years. It's a massive tragedy. I still believe to this day that her death was extremely suspicious. There's no way to prove it, right? So much time has passed. It's been almost 30 years. I generally do believe that, back in 97, Princess Diana, because she died in a very similar manner to the Chinese actress Liu Dan, right? A tragic car accident. Even today, like, I'm 99% convinced that she was set up. And why would I have suspicions? Well, because at the time of Princess Diana's death, she was dating a Muslim. I'm just going to be brutally honest. Even now, like, for a member of the royal family, I don't know if they will still accept that. Especially back in 1997, for Prince Charles to be divorced, that was such a huge shame and humiliation chapter on the family. But regardless of what happened, here's my final message. The reality is that she could have been one of the most successful Chinese actresses of all time. Unfortunately, just as she gained fame in 1999 from Huanzhu Gege 2, she passed away on January 30th of 2000. And yes, and if you're interested, you can look up this series. I definitely recommend you guys watching it. Definitely Huanzhu Gege 1 and Huanzhu Gege 2. And as a final message, right, Halloween's coming up. I did mention, if you watched my previous videos, I've been sober for almost 8 years now. The last time I consumed alcohol was Chinese New Year's 2017, almost 8 years ago. It's been 7 years and 9 months. And my goal is to never ever go back, right? Almost every single terrible decision made in history has alcohol involved. Think about it, right? People say that, in the United States, you have an issue of gun violence. Do you know how many people die in the US every year from gun violence on average? 30,000 people. How many people do you think in the US die from car accidents every single year? 55,000. Should we ban driving as well? For the people who are saying that we should take away the Second Amendment, right? We should take away people's guns. Why don't you take away everybody's car keys as well? If 55,000 people a year on the road are dying, and how many of the car accidents worldwide do you guys think have alcohol as a contributing factor? I would say it's gotta be at least anywhere between 40 to 50%. Think about all the insane fights between a family that led to domestic violence, that led to divorces being filed, that led to families being split apart. Think about every single date rape that happens has alcohol involved. Almost every single female student that ends up being sexually assaulted or raped on campus has alcohol involved. Almost nothing good comes out of this. And whether you want to believe that her death was an accident, whether she was sitting in the passenger seat, she was ejected from the side window, or she was actually sleeping in the back of the car, or she was set up somehow, I can guarantee you 100% the driver, Q Cam, right? He was 100% completely drunk when he was behind the wheel. That's why such a terrible accident happened, right? I've had my driver's license since I was 16, and I always believe in driving safe. And it's one of the many contributing factors to why I quit drinking. I've been driving for 16 years, no accidents. I did have one speeding ticket, I have to be brutally honest. But I never considered myself to be a good driver. In my mind, there are only two types of drivers. You're either an old driver or you're a dead driver. So the decision's up to you. And I know today is Friday, the weekend is coming up, and Halloween's coming up. It's time for party and celebration. But I hope everybody will party safe and responsibly. Just think about the tragic death of this Chinese princess, Liu Dan. She could have been one of the most successful, one of the most influential Chinese actresses of all time. But she threw it away all for nothing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys will have a great weekend. I will see you guys next week.